I think we are good to start.
Okay. So what I've prepared is not the complete class, but just a pitch to explain to you what I am thinking about. And then based on your feedback, then I will completely work it out. So the idea was that I was going to teach senior three, right? Because I had them in mind.
I beg your pardon? Do I need
The,
some
yeah,
specific thing?
yeah, the idea was that I was going to teach senior three, right?
Okay, I don't know that I did not pick you well. Did I?
Hmm?
Like,
Excuse
I
me?
did not pick what you said very well.
Ah, okay. Um, so the idea was that I was going to teach senior three, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, okay, good, because I had them in mind. So what I prepared is just the concept of the class. So I will work it out more after we discuss this, and then I can use your feedback to work out all the details. So what I want to do,
Okay.
so the specific
Mm.
learning outcomes. So first of all, I want to discuss how to find a quadratic function. I will wait.
Eh?
So how to find the quadratic function if you know what its roots are and if you know one additional point. So that's something I want to check. And that's if you compare that to the syllabus, then it follows these two learning outcomes so that they can form a quadratic equation if you have its roots, and that you can link the solutions of quadratic equation to its graphic. And then another goal I want to test is if they can solve equations, simultaneous equations involving one quadratic and just a constant one. So basically solve a quadratic equation itself, which is a very specific case of this learning outcome from the syllabus. So that's what I want to test, or what I want to teach them. And how I was planning to do
Okay.
that is by using a real-world application. So the problem I was thinking about is, okay, the government wants to optimize the transportation of food throughout the country. And to do that, they will build a tunnel specifically for delivery trucks. The tunnel has a parabolic shape. It's 20 meters wide and 50 meters high in the middle. And a truck is 2 meters wide and 3 meters high. So I have a picture. Then how many trucks can drive through the tunnel side to side at the same time? So in order to solve this problem, they need to combine multiple things about quadratic functions, which they have, which are based on these learning outcomes. So that was the idea of the problem I had. And so more specifically, what I want them to do is first, um, I want to introduce myself and the problem. It's about 5 minutes, I think. And then I had a fun, at least I think it's an interactive thing where they use GeoGebra. So what I've done here is they have a picture of the tunnel. The layout needs to be a bit better, but it's just a prototype. So they have the tunnel and they have different delivery trucks. And they need to try to put as many delivery trucks in the tunnel as possible. So without mathematics, but just to get acquainted to what the problem is that they want to solve. That's the idea I had, so that they get familiar with it. So it's also 5 minutes. And then the mathematics starts. So, I mean, you of course know how to solve this problem, but I think it's good to go over it really quickly just to see how involved the calculations get, so that we can see if it's too difficult or too easy. So what they need to do is three things. First of all, describe the graph using the function, using a function, so finding that function. Then finding all the intersection points, because the bottleneck will be that some trucks, they will go out of the tunnel. And then finally, decide how many trucks can fit in the tunnel. So for the first part, they first need to choose their coordinate axis, their coordinate system. Then they need to find the zeros of the function, which are 0 and 2, because the tunnel is 20 meters, 0 and 20, because the tunnel is 20 meters wide. And then they can use that to form a quadratic function, which is still an unknown, because you have infinitely many. But then they can use the second given to find the value of a by just plugging everything into the expression. And if they do that, they can work it out, and they get a -3/20. So you get a nice quadratic function, which is given here. So that's the first part. Second part of the problem is to solve this system. And yeah, by solving this system, you just use the elimination method. So you say that both sides are equal. You get a quadratic equation, and then they can use a quadratic formula, which I think they've already seen. I'm not sure, but otherwise I can adapt to yeah, solve this equation, and then they get this expression. So by just plugging in everything, and then finally they need to find. If we go back to the picture, they need to find the distance between the point on height 3 here and the point of height 3 here. So the distance in the x coordinates. So to do that, you just compute the you do minus the both roots. You get this. Then with the calculator, you can find that if the track is 2 meters wide, then approximately 8 tracks can pass through at the same time. So I think this is a nice real-life problem to let them explore the different mathematical concepts. So very concretely, what do I want to do with this problem? I want to go over the solution together with the students using the Socratic method. So just by asking questions and they answer the questions. And during that discussion, I also want to give them some time to work out small parts on their own. For example, at some point they had to find a certain value of a, then they can think a little bit about it and find it themselves. Or if they have to think to find this solution, then I will give them some time to find that. What I also want to try to do is, with my questions, I want to encourage students to be active by also sometimes asking them to type something in the chat so that everyone is involved. And then, yeah, time schedule wise, because my personal weakness is to not go too fast, because I always go too fast, is I thought for the first part, I need around 13 minutes approximately. Second
Senne,
part,
can you give me just a minute? A
yes,
minute?
definitely.
Yes, we can continue.
Yes. Okay. So what I always find difficult is to give enough time to students. I think that I always go too quickly. So what I was thinking is for the first part to give them around 13 minutes time. Then so with all the questions, then for the second part, they have to solve the equation. I give them around 10 minutes. And then the final part, which is basically just computing this L and interpreting it, it's about 5 minutes. So this is 5 minutes. This is around 10 minutes. And then this, I think this is the most involved, the most abstract. It's around 13 minutes, I think.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, it's time for an exercise or an assessment. And for that, I would like to use a tool which I've not used before, but I would like to try it. It's basically, I want to make a small online escape room using book widgets. So I don't know if you know book widgets.
Not really. I've not used it.
Yeah. So basically, book widgets, it's yeah, an online platform where you can make quizzes or web quests or whatever, and also an online escape room. And they have 35 different kinds of questions. So it can really vary a lot. So want to, because I already made the Kahoot and the quizzes in the past, I would like to try this out. I don't know if it's how good it is in practice, but that's why I want to try it. So specifically what I was thinking is to give an Easter themed or another kind of a theme. That's something I want to discuss with you. A picture where I uh, hide different hotspots. So what do I mean with a hotspot? A hotspot is a place where a student can click, and if they click, then a question pops up. So for example, and again, this is something I don't know how appropriate it is, but we will discuss it later. I give them, for example, this picture. If they press on the table or whatever, a question pops up. And then we can make a little story like, okay, the Easter Bunny has locked you in a room and you have to escape. Try to find clues how to escape. And then by pressing on the sofa or the table or whatever, they get a question. If they solve the question, they get a number. And then if they have 5 numbers, then they can open the lock of the door and then they can escape. So it's a little bit of a game, but there is real mathematics involved. It's not just a game. They will do real exercises. So I was thinking about 5 questions, more or less. And if they have all the answers, then they can open the lock, they can escape, and they win the game. And something which is also very nice using book widgets is the teacher, or in this case me, I can monitor the students' answers while they are working. At least I think so. I still have to check that, but I think that was the case. And I will also get a report at the end, like which student scored or was able to solve which exercise. And for this, I was thinking about giving them a least amount of time, giving them around 17 minutes so that they can find all the questions and try to solve them. And what kind of questions I would take? I would basically use the same exercise as before, but then divide it in different parts and just ask small parts of that exercise. The only thing which I did not know is whether the theme is appropriate, because in Belgium, Easter is celebrated with eggs and bunnies, but I don't know if that's something that's been done in Uganda. But if that's not the case, then I can change the theme. That's no problem. This is just one suggestion. So I don't know.
Okay. Which theme do you want to use? Maybe I can make a composition.
Yeah, first of all, so now I wanted to make an Easter theme. So with this picture that I made. However, I don't
Yes,
know if the bunnies are appropriate. I don't know what the culture is in your country, whether it's appropriate or not. So that's
it
something I
is
wanted to
appropriate
ask.
to our
It's
culture.
appropriate.
But
Okay.
yes, that one is
Okay.
more or
Okay.
less like this side we call it like a visitor's room. Uh, like a visitor's room. Like the
Yes.
picture I've displayed, it shows a visitor's room at our ends.
Okay.
Uh, so it is very appropriate.
Good. Good. And I think because it's the Easter week when we will do the class, it's nice to do a
Oh,
little Easter themed thing. So,
yes,
but
sure.
it might be
It will
any other
come.
theme, but this is just a suggestion. So,
Hmm.
and then finally, if time permits, but of course in a class you never know if some things are longer than expect, then I want to take 5 minutes to discuss the most difficult exercises. So if students were really stuck with one particular exercise, then I want to discuss that with the entire group. So
Hmm.
a small summary. So what I was thinking is to first do an introduction of myself and the problem, then let them explore the problem with the GeoGebra by just seeing by hand how many trucks can fit in and trying to get acquainted with it.
Hmm.
Then discuss the big problem, which is the bulk of the lesson, by using the Socratic method. And then the online escape room, and if time permits, feedback on the online escape room. That will take about
Okay.
60 minutes. So I don't know
Okay.
if this is appropriate, like difficulty-wise, if it's too easy or too hard, because I don't know exactly where the students are now at the moment in their study of quadratic equations. So,
Okay.
for example, have they seen this formula already?
The formula, okay, yes. Now, okay, good. Good enough here. You have talked about the discriminant. So maybe Yeah, this is very okay. They have seen that formula,
Okay.
so that is very okay.
Okay, good.
Then maybe I've seen you brought in SADs. I've seen something with
Yes.
SADs.
Yeah. So it's
Yes,
not really
good enough in
necessary,
the
but
syllabus.
yeah. I
It
think
is
in the
well
second,
because they do SADs.
I think in the second or first senior one or senior two, right? Or
Yes, senior two. Yes, they cover
senior
it
two.
in
Yeah.
senior two. So that is
Yeah.
very well application
Okay.
of the knowledge.
Yeah. Then they can repeat what they know. So that's indeed good. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Then I will dedicate some time specifically on that to recall that. Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Then on the final answer, I don't know whether in the question you had units. Okay, very good. It is there. So we are
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then here you have written 17,89 meters. But now our end, 17,
Think think your phone or iPhone. Internet still on? Yes. Hello, Stephen?
yes, I'm
Yeah, okay, you're
saying,
back.
okay, I'm saying
Yes.
where you have 1789.
Yeah.
This is, you wrote 17,89. I know you meant a point, 17.89. Yes,
Okay,
but
so
now our side, they may
yeah.
not be able to pick it very well. They may consider it as a comma instead of a point.
Wait, so okay, so what do you want to I want to use it's
Uh,
17.89 as a decimal, so
uh-huh.
I should
Yes,
use a point, right?
point,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, point. Let me quickly write that down. And in Belgium, they use weird mathematical things like if zero is a natural number or not. In Belgium, it's a natural number, but everywhere else in Europe, at least, it's not a natural number, for example. So we have weird
Oh,
conventions. And this is, I think, one of them. So I will change it.
okay. Okay. That is very okay. Yeah. Okay. Mm.
Like the time schedule is realistic.
Then the schedule, I'm not saying for exploration with GeoGebra, we may need to increase on the time.
Increase on the time because it's just they need to put drag these and put them here. So
I don't know
that's the
whether
only
we
thing.
can. Do you expect them to have GeoGebra on their laptops? Do
No.
you?
No, so
No.
it's with a link that I can use, GeoGebra Classroom, and then it's just a link I sent them. A website opens and they see what I've made, so they don't need to make
Okay.
them themselves. And then I can watch what everyone is doing. So they don't need it themselves; they just
Oh,
need internet. So
okay.
everything you see here, they don't need to make. It's just they need to play with it, basically. They need to drag it.
To play with it. Okay,
Yes.
then that is perfect. That is perfect. So that is very okay. Though you know the kind of excitement it creates when they're interacting with those tools. So
Yeah.
I know they will
Yeah,
be very excited. Being their
excitement
first
is
time.
excitement is good, but then indeed it will be important let them concentrate again afterwards. So that will be the difficulty then. But
Yes.
excitement is good.
Okay. So, but okay, 5 minutes I felt is good enough.
Yeah, if
It's
it's just that they have to drag things and then a small discussion. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think they're okay. Mm.
And again, this is not what I will show the students. Like this will not be what they see because this is too too quick and too abstract. It will be with more pictures and things like that.
Okay, then I was wondering whether, because these ends we mainly use y, the way you have used y, then but
Yes.
I'm not saying you are using y, you are using f, much as it is the same. Uh,
Yeah, I
how
mean here, right?
yes, here.
Hmm?
I don't know that we can be able to stick to y or
Um,
hmm,
yeah, I think we can stick to. I mean, then maybe I should not write that it's a quadratic function, but then it's an expression of a quadratic function. But then I can use y. So everywhere y instead of f of x.
yes,
Yeah.
why they'll be able to get the why. Even when it comes maybe to sketching, they can easily be able to visualize it better.
Yes. Okay. Then I will do that. Good. And are they used to this notation with the for the simultaneous
Mm.
equations?
Okay, yes, that one at least they have an idea. That is very okay.
Okay.
That is very okay. Then here, this D, the D, your discriminant, that one is not so common at this level. So they are
Okay.
used to having it there substituted.
Okay. So it's immediately the formula downstairs here.
Yes. So where you
Yeah.
have D,
Hmm?
better in that formula, we put that B squared minus 4AC, such that they know, they don't look at it as something very new.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Um, and with the plus minus, maybe that's a weird
Yes.
symbol. I don't know. Is
Yes,
that okay?
that is very okay.
That's very okay.
That is very okay. Yes, very okay. That is very okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they have a calculator, right? I think I saw a calculator during the observation, so they can do this. Yes.
Yes, that is okay.
This is just a time schedule. So I still have to think where to put the
Mm.
interactivity in, but I think the more the better. But also keeping the time in mind, of course.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
escape room. But there are no questions there yet. So
Okay.
then maybe did we discuss the complete beginning? Then the problem itself, is that good enough? Like I added the first thing to add a little bit of context, but it's not necessary, of course. But
Oh, sorry.
No
I'm back.
problem. Okay. So what I was saying is I added this first part is not necessary for the problem in the problem description, but I think it makes it a bit more real. But I don't know what your opinion about it is. Whether it
Yes.
will
Now,
confuse them
I
or
think the description is important for them to be able to relate in the
yes.
real life. And maybe
Hmm.
we are going to, okay, I think I'm going to check around and see whether in Uganda we have maybe a tunnel that that they can at least refer to,
Yeah. Yeah,
at
that
least,
that would be very nice indeed.
yes. In fact, I know we have some tunnels. I don't know whether you have tried to check on the internet. We have some tunnels, though
Mhm.
ours, they are not so much carved.
Okay.
Yeah, but at least I've seen one in this construction of the bridges,
Yeah.
so they can easily at least relate. I think okay, I think I'm going to share with you some
Yeah. And
that
I
I've
will I'll
seen, but also I've seen they're there on the internet, such
yeah.
that we bring that the real life, and
Yeah,
also
definitely.
okay. I think that is okay. Okay, you are waiting for me to share.
I thought you said you wanted to
Okay.
share something, but
Oh, okay. I was trying to check here on the internet.
okay,
I
okay.
don't, eh. So when I looked around, I saw at least we have
Yeah.
something similar,
Yes.
where that they can at least relate to those different tunnels. So maybe you can pick
Yeah.
a picture from internet and then
Yes.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
shape that is important. So indeed. Okay, then I will do that.
okay.
Then I will write it down.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
I will share a
I think
slide again. Oh,
okay. We can go back to the slides. Okay.
yes.
Hmm. Okay. And then we do not the word parabolic, maybe in the description you'll try to break it a bit, much as they have done, but we may need to break it a bit such that they can be able to at least understand it much better.
Yes. So what do you mean with break it? Like describe it language-based or
Describe it.
by yeah.
Eh, because I know they will be able to see the curve, but now making it a bit more simpler, because it may appear as if it is ambiguous, as if it is something very big. So they may keep
Yeah.
asking, what is a parabola? What is parabolic? Something like that. So
Yeah.
in the description or in the explanation during the introduction, you can break
Yeah.
it such that. Mm.
Okay. So
Then
first
this,
yeah.
yes.
So first explain what a parabola is and then
Yes.
or is that what okay, then good.
Okay.
Because indeed it is a bit of a difficult word for them.
Yes. Then, okay. I think also I'll try to, okay. Are you seeing this artificial trailer?
Hmm?
The picture, the artificial one, the 3 meters.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know that we can get the real vehicle or that's what you preferred.
Um, what I preferred is to show it from behind, but if it's a real vehicle, it might be even better.
Okay.
You immediately saw that this was artificial.
Yes.
Okay.
I- yes.
Yeah.
That
Then
was trying to that was trying to see whether I can get at least an image
yes.
having a trailer, but from behind,
Yeah, yeah.
it can at
And
least.
it, does it need to be looked from behind like in this artificial picture, or is it okay if it's like a little bit diagonal? Because most pictures I
Diagonal,
found were, yeah, that it's,
diagonal can as well work.
yeah, as long as,
Mm.
I mean, the arrows are put in the right direction, that they know what to meet, what thing is 2 meter and 3 meter. Yeah, okay. Then I can do that.
Okay. 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 I think that is well. Uh,
Okay.
mm,
Then, yeah, I mean, for this is not complete yet because it's all
mm,
gray and I want to make it like, preferably if it's possible that the underground is brown or something for the dirt, then here you have a sky and here you have like
mm,
gray or black or something. But first wanted to uh, hear what your ideas were about this activity before I went into all the details.
mm,
And as well with here with the trucks, which I think it's good if they're abstractly just like rectangles here in the application.
mm.
All the numbers around it, they will also be deleted because that does not look right. All the letters, I mean, I will also delete them.
Okay. Okay. I feel this slide is okay. Maybe that's additional thing you may want to put, but this is very fine.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
again, don't use F,
Yeah, the
just
F.
use Y. But
Mm.
again, the students will not see this. This is just for us.
Okay. It is well.
Yeah.
But I love this summary for the problem. It is very
Yes.
good. It is a very good.
Would would you give the summary at the end or the beginning?
Uh,
I think either way, it's good to let them think about how would
uh,
you tackle this problem without solving it completely immediately. But I think it's good to discuss this at the beginning, right?
yes, it's good. Okay. After they have thought about it.
Yeah, let them think a little while about it. Then we
Mm,
will discuss this, and then we will go over the details. I will do most of the same, but I will also give them time, for example, to compute things like the a here, or what is the quadratic function, or like things
mm,
like that. Then I will give them time.
okay.
But I think it's good to give them a little bit of time here to
To
think. Okay,
critically.
you have the real problem here, but what do we have to do mathematically?
Mm,
Yeah.
this is very good.
Already discussed the F.
This is okay.
Yeah. Then here we delete this. Is it also
Mm.
called the elimination method, or so?
Elimination.
So it's basically just eliminate the y by.
Yeah, it is okay. Elimination method.
Okay.
Mm.
This symbol is also okay.
Are you getting me?
Now I'm getting
I'm
you.
saying it
Yeah.
is very okay.
It's very okay. Good. Okay. Then here that's just the overview. I think that was okay. Yeah, and for this, like I was thinking about mostly skill-based questions. So with that, I mean questions where they really have to compute something. But I don't know whether you think that just knowledge is also good to test here, or should
I
I
beg your
focus
pardon?
on the computation? Hmm?
I beg your pardon?
Pardon?
Passing?
Okay. Yeah. So for the assessment, I was thinking about focusing on computations and finding numbers or functions, things like that. Or would you also include knowledge-based questions?
I think we can integrate the two
The
if
two,
possible.
yes. Yeah,
Mm,
it's definitely possible. Because
mm,
if you, as far as I understand book widgets, if you press somewhere, then you can get one question, but you can also get multiple small questions. So one
mm.
of the things might be multiple choice knowledge based, where they just need to answer 5 small questions or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That is possible to make one of them that. So that's definitely possible. Or like even indeed integrate both of
Mm,
them by doing knowledge and skills, like first asking knowledge and then to compute. So that's also possible. Yeah.
yeah. Mm, yeah. That is okay.
Then we have the summary.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also AI generated. I don't know if that's okay or not.
Oh, yes. Oh, but okay. Okay. Though I know then I just need time. I think I can take for you some photos
Okay.
from this side that they can easily relate to, but this is also very okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Like what would also be fun, but then of course it's not Easter related, but I think students always like it. If you can take a picture of a classroom or something, that they're locked
oh
in the classroom and they have to escape the classroom. That's
oh, you
also
want a picture
that
where they
that
are
might
locked in the
hmm?
a picture where they are locked in a classroom.
That is a possibility. If you want to not use AI, then but then it's not Easter related, unless you have a lot of Easter eggs, of course. Then you can decorate the room yourself.
Okay,
But
I'll
that's
try that
something we
one.
can do. I don't know if they would like that.
Okay, I try to lock them and see that is possible.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and I've liked, I don't know whether you have noticed, this door is bringing out that curve, the parabola shape.
The door itself, or
Yes, the door, the frame,
ah,
when you look,
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That could be a yeah.
yeah.
If we use this, then I definitely need to incorporate that somehow.
Yes, so it will show them the application that also these
Yeah.
parabolas in real life, they are visible. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like if you look at the basket with X, for example,
Uh-huh.
the handle is also parabolic.
Perfect, perfect.
So I
Yes,
think this is a good picture for the parabola stuff.
very, very good one. Yeah, yes. Okay, okay, okay,
So I see other parabolas.
okay.
Not,
Yeah,
not
there are
that.
many, in fact, when I'm so,
Yeah, you can say the light bulb a little bit, but
it is a
but yeah,
base. Yeah, at least there is some kind of mathematics there.
yes, in real life.
Yes, in real life. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I think you are very set.
Yes, think so too. So I'm looking forward to making all of this because I think it will be a very fun.
Then meaning that now our slides that our final slides, I don't know whether you can be able to, one, we may need to look at the colors that we use. I don't know whether you have studied about color and retention.
I did not learn anything about it, no. So if you could,
You have,
hmm?
like colors, and
Yes,
retention. So we
yes.
need to be strategic, which
Okay,
as we can use vis-a-vis the retention capacity or the memory retention for these students.
okay,
Such that when we are designing our PowerPoint, we may not only look at the black, but we can bring in other colors, maybe red, green, blue, yeah, because they have an effect on the memory retention.
Okay, I did not know that.
Hmm.
So what color would you say would be the most optimal to use?
Yes,
What color would you say would be the most optimal to use?
optimal. Okay, no, we can play
For
with
the,
black, we
ah, we,
can play with red, we can play with blue,
yeah,
green, eh, because they have the way a way they influence learning and retention.
okay,
Hmm.
good. Then I will,
So when you use green, green
hmm,
boosts the concentration. Then when it comes to orange, lifts up the mood. When you go with blue, that one improves on the productivity, like it's a supercharger. When you
yeah,
go to yellow, that one is an energy enhancer and help them to focus. So we can play with those colors according
yeah,
to the psychology people, but it is very well. So we can play with them and then see
yeah.
how we can. Hmm.
Okay, good. Then I will keep that in mind when making the final slides.
Okay.
So what I would propose is that because I'm also doing a job, so it's difficult for me to do it during the week, but I make the slides during the weekend, and then next week we can discuss it or something. If that fits for you.
Okay. Okay. Then that is very fine.
Okay.
Very fine. Once you get the time, then we can be what? Able to look at it again. And
Yeah.
then also we try out the escape room,
Yes,
with
because
the escape room before we go
yeah,
in for the actual one.
yeah, of course, of course. And then I
Mm.
don't know, but maybe I don't know how the other students are doing, but maybe it's we can do a big practice session with everyone or something to simulate it a little
Oh,
bit. I
yes,
don't know.
we can get some children,
Or with some
and
real
then
children, it would be even better. Yes.
we can get some children and just
Oh,
we test it and see.
definitely, that's even better.
Uh, yes.
Okay, good. Would it already be possible maybe to already schedule a date for the
Hmm.
real class? Because
Okay, I think
uh,
for
because
the
in a
testing phase,
or and for the testing phase as well, if that's possible. Yes.
yes, I don't know how is your next week Monday. We can still use the same time.
I've nothing
Maybe,
planned on Monday yet, so that's okay. So
uh,
Monday at 4 your time.
yes,
The
Monday at the
7th
same
of
time. I
yes.
think that Monday will be, is it 7th?
Hmm? April 7th, yes.
Hmm. So it can
I think you're frozen again. I'm
that
not sure.
escape
Yeah.
room.
Sorry, you were frozen again for a little bit. What did you say?
Okay, I was saying we shall use
Yeah.
that Monday
Yeah.
uh, to test. I will have about 5 children just for the
Yes.
testing purposes. Hmm.
Yes. That sounds good. And if the escape room doesn't work out for some reason, but because for me it's also first time, so I don't know how good it is in practice, we can still change it if it's necessary. Like we can do another
Yes.
kind of assessment if that's necessary.
Okay. Okay.
Good. And then the real class, that was the week after that, right?
Yes. It will be a day. When is it? Did we plan for 8th? Oh,
I want to do it immediately on the 8th. I thought it would be the week afterwards.
a week after.
Yeah, the
So,
week of the 14th, because then I can still modify everything after the test session.
okay. Is that 21st, 22nd, 23rd that week?
The 14th, 14,
14th,
15,
yes.
16, if that's
That Monday.
possible. That
Yes.
Monday. At
Yeah.
same time again?
Not really.
Oh, yeah,
Not
of course.
really.
I still don't need to be there.
Now on the 14th, we can look at 11.
11 your time. Yes, okay. That's
Yes,
10 my
11 my
time.
time.
Yes.
I think that will be 10 your side, eh?
That is 10 my side. Yes.
Yeah. So 11 can work very well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And then I had another question about my microphone because I felt like sometimes you had difficulties understanding me. Is it because it's the volume is too low, or is it because it is I don't know, is it something else, or is it the volume?
Okay, I think let me, because you had advised, we are going to have headsets, but
Hmm?
also let me check for this.
Yeah.
We have some external speaker uh, that I'm going to, that I want to test as well.
Okay.
So I know it can really work such that the sound can come out very well.
Yes.
Yeah, that one will help us. So let me connect it and then maybe just test.
Okay.
Bluetooth connected. Okay, maybe you can talk and I see.
So let's see if you can hear me well now. I don't know.
Yes, are you able to hear the echo?
I don't hear an echo, no.
Oh, because I can hear you very well
You can hear
using
me
the
very
mic.
well. Okay.
Yes.
And I don't hear an echo, so that's perfect.
Oh, you don't hear it. So it is
No,
here. I don't know.
I don't hear an echo, no.
Oh, yes, but
Not
at
at
least we
all.
can, not at all, eh? Okay,
Yeah.
then that is also very good.
Yeah, it's
So,
very
but
good.
yeah, okay. Now that one I think it's sorted. We shall use the both of them for external sound in case they are not able to pick you well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel this is okay.
Okay.
And then you had said you had some questions. Uh,
Yes. Let me open it real quick. I mean, I don't know if you already had time to look at my observation form, because it was quite a lot, so I would understand if you have.
okay, I read through up to I think I've read through all the 11
Okay.
pages. I
Yeah.
wanted to print that I can highlight a few things, but
Okay.
maybe I wanted to first answer some of those questions you had,
Yes.
uh,
I
such
want to
that
emphasize that I thought the lesson was very good. So there are some points of critique maybe in there, but it's just it was very good, like the
okay,
observation form. Okay. It's not good.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, my first question was about the laptops. So are they do the students have the laptops themselves, or are they from the school, or how does it work exactly?
For the laptops,
Yeah.
according to the school, children that can afford laptops, they come with them at school. So their parents buy for them, and then they carry them to school.
Okay.
So the school does not.
Sorry, you fell away again for a while. So the school,
The school, according to the school policy,
yes.
we always encourage children carry their own laptops because when they have their own, they can be able to manage them, but also practice when they go back home to attain
Yeah.
those skills ICT. So every
Yeah.
child, most of those that can afford, carry them to school, come with them at school. Then the
Okay.
school just keeps them.
Okay. Good. So that also answers the other questions about ICT. Um, yeah. Some at the beginning during the observation, I could not clearly see what the students were doing. So I was wondering, do the students did they work on the exercise alone, or were they working in little groups?
Okay, now according to the seating arrangement,
Yeah.
they sit in groups, but they face each other.
Yes.
Yes, so they face each other. So at the start of the lesson, they pick their books, pens, and other mathematical instruments to use. And then when we start the projection, they keep on doing the work and following what
Okay.
is taking place.
Okay, good. Then I think I understand. By the way, can you see the observation form right now or not?
I beg your pardon?
Can you see my observation form right now or not? Because I
No, no,
don't
no,
think
no.
I'm
You are not
okay,
sharing.
because yeah, I thought I was
Hmm.
sharing, so that might be more useful if I share it. Thought I was sharing. Okay, now you should see it. I think. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ah, you can hear me. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Good. So yeah, the next thing was about the assessment. So you after every class you organize an assessment, right? Of about 20
Yes.
minutes, if I'm correct. And do you often use quizzes or do you use different methods?
I use different approaches.
Okay,
Uh,
what
d-
kind?
okay, one,
Yeah,
I can use the quizzes. That is one. Other times
okay.
I can use Kahoot. Another time I
Kahoot,
can
yeah.
use Hot Potato. Hot Potato
Yeah,
is mainly an online one. Then I can also use, I give some numbers. I give them as homework to do in their free time. So I get
good.
questions, then I tell them that we shall do them. Then sometimes I refer them to certain books to go and look out for some assessments, something like
Okay.
that.
And
Mm.
then they do it on paper or
Yes.
also on the computer. Yes, okay.
Mm.
Good, good. And do they always have to hand it in or?
Yes, before they come in for the next lesson, I always check
Yeah,
whether they have done the exercise. So I keep on checking, but also sometimes we collect the books for marking.
yeah. Because when I look through the syllabus that you sent us, what I found very interesting is the grading scheme that's been suggested at the end. So where you really look at the different kind of goals that they have to achieve, and based on that, it was like 20% of their total mark or something. Maybe you can explain something about that. Maybe I will open it. Don't know if it
Yes.
was clear what I was explaining, but let me just open it. It's. Can you see the syllabus,
Hmm.
or is it observation form that you still see?
Hmm. No, I'm seeing the syllabus now.
You're seeing the syllabus. Okay. Yeah, this idea I found very interesting. So
Hmm.
where you evaluate them topic per topic. So if you do this, is this a replacement for an exam, or is this just on top of an exam, or how does it work exactly?
Okay, now whenever we complete a topic,
Yeah.
we call it an activity of integration. Now, an activity of integration is a summative assessment
Okay.
that contains all, or sometimes we call it 75% of all the learning outcomes that have been captured in the
Okay.
topic. So we add all the learning outcomes, then we come up with one scenario item with a task that can help the child to apply the knowledge they have learned from that particular topic. So we
Yes.
score it on a scale of 10. But after scoring it on a scale of 10, we convert it using those descriptors at a 3 scale. And then we
Yes.
place them whether they are at a basic level, whether they're at intermediate level, whether they're at advanced, or they have accomplished the
Yes.
competence. So now the table here you are noticing, that is the one that shows you at what level is this child, how much was he able to cover or to get from that particular topic. So we describe them depending on the number of learning outcomes they have been able to achieve from that particular particular topic. Then the scores that they obtain at the end of the year or at end of every term, we do submit them at the National Assessment Center. We have a National Assessment Center where students'
Mhm.
continuous assessments are being captured. So every time
Yeah.
we keep on submitting, depending on the number of topics we have taught within that particular term.
Okay.
Mm.
And so there's no, so after a topic is finished, it's really finished, or is there also like at the end of the term a big exam on all the topics again, or?
Yes. Now, at the end of the term, uh, according to the curriculum design, we call them terminal integration competence assessments, and we do them
Okay.
at the end of the term, that is third term in this side. So on that side can be like the final semester, something like that. So, but due to the prevailing conditions within schools, we usually do exams every term for
Okay.
have the concepts well mastered.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those end of term exams, they combine all the topics that have been captured in a
Yes.
particular term and the previous years.
Okay. So interesting. What else? I did want to ask something else about this. Did I want to ask again? Let me maybe continue with this. So another question more about the quadratic equations is where are they exactly at this point with quadratic equations? So what did they see before the class that we observed? And
Mm.
specifically for me as well, because I will be teaching about quadratic equations, what will they have seen when I'm teaching about quadratic equations? So,
I, I have not gotten your question you're saying.
okay, so my question is, I think it was lesson 5 that we observed. What have they
Mm.
seen at that point regarding that
Mm.
topic?
Mm. So what lesson will yours be?
Uh, I don't know. Yeah, that's also a question. Yeah. So
That
my
is the
question
question.
was, yeah, it's multiple questions. So maybe let me split them up. What have they seen about quadratic equations during the class that I've observed with the football?
Mm.
What have they seen about quadratic equations at that point?
Okay, I've not yet picked the question but
Not
I've
this.
noticed that. Okay. Okay, first let us go to that topic.
Um, so it's this question. So what what have they seen about quadratic equations by the time that the class that we observed happened? So how does it fit in? How does the class we've observed fit into the broader topic of quadratic equations? Which
Okay,
learning
now,
outcomes it? Yeah.
hmm. Okay, can you go back to the syllabus
Yes.
uh, where we
I'm
have
here.
quadratic equations?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the class was about this topic. Does that mean that they
Yes. So it
observed
was
class?
yes. Now, there are two things here. That one, we had to make the table values for a quadratic function and draw the graph. That was one of
Yeah.
the learning outcomes that we captured. But also, we had to link the solutions from our graphical representation onto the scenario. So I was
Yeah.
trying to show them how we can have those quadratic curves, how they can manifest themselves in real life, and how can we obtain the solution from the graph to fit into the scenario that has been provided to us.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. And then the question was more about what was their prior knowledge. So what did you cover in the classes before the class we observed?
Okay, now before that class, we had been able to, we looked at the first learning outcome, determining the roots of quadratic equation, uh,
Yeah.
using factorization, completing squares, forming quadratic equation, and it given its roots. So we had looked at that. But
Okay.
earlier on, with tables for values, they looked at linear graphs in their senior one, term 3. So in senior one, term
Yes.
3, they have a topic about drawing graphs, linear graphs. So now we are building the concepts from that topic and linking them onto this topic.
It's because I think there was also algebra 2 or something that was also a topic related to quadratics, or am I
Yes,
mistaken? In senior
yes, they
2.
did
Yeah.
in senior 2, true.
Okay,
Though
okay.
at that level, we look at only solving using the factoring approach.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, so this, okay. Hmm.
Okay. So then I get a clearer picture about what they already knew. So that was what I wanted to know with this question. But then a second question would be, what do they know when I'm gonna teach? Is the topic of quadratic equations, is it basically finished by that point, or are there still things that they don't know yet that I should be aware
Okay,
about?
now we are looking at mainly the application.
Yes,
Uh,
wait, I will go back to quadratic functions.
mm.
Yes.
So yes, now here we are looking at now achieving the competence, because the competence requires the learner to be able to understand and solve quadratic equation and relate them to graphs. So the lesson you are going to conduct is helping us achieve this competency. Much as now they know how to form the quadratic equations, to draw the table values, but now do
Yeah.
they understand and can they be able to solve quadratic equation and relate them to graphs, but also most important to your life, because this competence-based learning approach requires learners to be able to utilize the knowledge they have learned in class to be able to solve real life challenges and come up with the
Yeah.
solutions.
Okay.
Mm,
That's just it. Okay, yeah. So it's
mm,
the bigger competency that we're testing
mm.
in. Okay, good. But I can assume that they're acquainted with all these learning outcomes to some degree.
Yes,
It's
because
just
even the beauty, when you look at the scenario we are going to deal with, you have noticed there is a bit of spontaneous equation where we are using that elimination method. So this learning outcome is also being captured there.
yeah,
Mm.
okay. But have they already done something about this in a before I will be teaching?
Yes, they
Yes.
did something. Yes.
Okay, good, good. That's what I wanted to know. Then yeah, so did you implement any differentiation in your classes? For example, by yeah, this one I know you didn't do, but giving different kind of topics to students based on what different students find interesting. But that's just one example. But did you do
Mm.
differentiate between students somehow?
Okay, now that one, what I did is that
Yeah.
since I had displayed 3 tasks at the start of the question, so some students finished the graphing, whereas that we are still doing. So the ones
Okay.
that had finished
Yeah.
continued to do, as I was still supporting the ones that had not finished.
Okay, that's a very nice method. Yes.
Mm.
Good. And then during quizzes, I saw that power-ups and memes were enabled. Was it a deliberate choice or?
Oh, now that one is within the settings. That is
Yes,
within the settings.
yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't disable them, though I noticed they have some they have a way they distract the concentration in the process
Uh,
of doing.
yeah, it might motivate them, but it can distract them as well. But they were enabled now, I think.
They were enabled.
So that was a mistake then, or was it a deliberate choice of you?
I doubt whether it was not really deliberate.
Okay,
Yeah.
can happen. Yeah. Okay. I was using it against the other observers though. I stole a lot of points from them.
Hmm.
Good. Yes. So, are there any students in your class with special facilities? So, what I mean with
Yeah.
special, or yeah,
Now we have children that have eye challenges, those
okay,
short-sighted and long-sighted children. Then I think that is one of the biggest disability we have. Uh,
yes.
yes.
And is it a disability? Do they have glasses or not? If they
Yes,
have
they have
difficulty to,
glasses.
they
They
have
have
glasses.
glasses.
Okay,
And
good,
if
good.
one doesn't have,
Ooh.
much as like she took the measurements, though she doesn't want to use them.
It's a choice of hers, or is it
It is the child's choice.
a
It is
choice?
the
Okay.
child's choice.
Yeah, yeah,
Then another special facility we have children who have a low attention span.
yeah.
We have that category of those with a low attention span, of which now once you are not on his case, he or she can go off the track. So you need to keep on knocking and reminding them all the time. Then another one, we have children who take tablets, and you know how dangerous some of those tablets are. They take them to the sleeping modes.
Hmm.
So also those ones now, you need to be able to monitor them such that
Yeah.
in case, yeah. So those are the major ones we have.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
So yeah, there are a lot of similarities with Belgium and England. Good. So we already discussed whether they were working in groups or not. Uh, yeah, what I also saw is that, at least it was my interpretation, that uh, it took a while before everyone was connected to quizzes. Is
Mm.
that something you also thought it took a while, or do you think it was normal? Because I've not been using it with real children so far. I just use it with my other students. So
Okay.
did it take a long time, in your opinion, for them to connect to quizzes?
Okay. Now the time right. Yes. Now that what brought the problem was the weather conditions that disrupted the internet connections.
Ah,
So
yeah,
so it took, and looking at the devices that children have, they some are not so strong, so some take long to connect or to come online. So
yeah,
because during the lesson, I ask them at first have them off, and then when that time comes for the quizzes, that's when I
yeah.
ask them to switch them on. So you find that some gadgets take a lot of time to come on.
Okay,
So that's what delayed some to come.
okay. So it was not because they were distracted or something, or they were unwilling to put it on. It was really because of practical things, like just a device that takes a while.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Then now I understand. Um, yeah. Uh, it's maybe a specific thing, but it was based on what I've written down here. But do students usually use a ruler when they draw the axis of a graph? Because you emphasize it during your class, but is it difficult for them to actually learn that attitude to use it? Because I know in Belgium it sometimes takes a while before students are uh,
Hmm.
they do it on their own.
Okay.
And
Yes.
does it?
Now here for access, we use Lula.
Yeah.
We use the Lula always, but you know, sometimes some are lazy, so you need to keep
Mm,
reminding them.
yeah.
But
So
when we are drawing the curve, that one we use a free hand.
yeah, because otherwise it's not a nice curve. Good. Um, yeah. What I thought was very good in your class is, at least from what I could hear, maybe I just didn't hear, but I thought the students were working in a very concentrated way. I did not hear a lot of talking about non-related stuff, but again, it might be the audio, but I think
Mm.
it's from what I observed, it was good. So how did you manage to do that? Is that
Mm.
by a certain trick that you did, or do you think it's a cultural difference? Because in Belgium, the the way that the students were working, it would not happen that easily.
Okay, now the learning environment and the teacher determines uh, the mood for the class. So here it's more or less like we call them discipline measures. That when you come in class, we expect you to be quiet, we expect you to respect the teacher and something like that. So it's more or less like a culture that these
Yeah.
children have been brought in. But also the nature of the teacher determines. You may find that in some classes the children are very rowdy, but also the class itself, like the year group determines. Not all year groups are like the one you observed. Some you may find they are very rowdy, others are a bit quiet, but also sometimes we tell them that today we have visitors and at least you must be able to be more disciplined. But the culture also matters because even when Gilbert usually visits, she sees a very big difference and she keeps telling me how that side it's really hard to conduct lessons.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Mm.
also something that she'll be does indeed. So so it's kind of a cultural thing, but
Yes.
it's it's also the pre-measures that you have to take, like making sure that students come in the class
Mm.
quietly and calm, right? Okay, then
Yes.
good. Yes. Do you think at the beginning of the class, I saw that you were doing a prayer, which is also something that does not happen in Belgium. Do you think that also works to calm them down?
Oh, yes. Now, the prayer, it is an affirmation technique that I usually employ to help them put them in a certain kind of mood
Yeah,
uh, mm, and also calm them such that they can be able to concentrate because many times when they're coming from other lessons, they have that divided mind. So when we
yeah, yeah,
come and pray, so it has a way it can first cool them a bit down and then make them. mm,
yeah. Then they can completely concentrate on the mathematics
yes.
afterwards. Yes. Yeah, I think that is a good tip. I mean, although I think leading a prayer would not be allowed in a Belgian classroom, but
Mm,
it's like something similar might be indeed a good tip.
mm,
Now, a very broad question, but this is very broad. What would you say are your most five important values? It's very broad, I know, but I would
mm.
just want to see whether it's different from what I would expect in Belgium, for example. And how
Yeah.
do you implement these values in your class? So I know it's very broad, but
Mm. Okay.
so if you want to think about
Now,
it.
okay. I don't know. Yeah, by talking about values,
Yeah, just things that you find important in life,
important
just in
in
general.
life.
And do you implement it in class? If it's too personal, you don't have to answer, but
Oh,
it's
okay. Number one is called character development.
yeah. What do
Character
you
development.
um, what do you precisely mean with this?
Okay, now character. May I use an analogy of a statue? You know, a statue? And that a statue, whether it rains, whether there is sunshine, it will always remain almost the same. It does not
Yes.
change. So I always do believe and I encourage them that um, let what you say reflect uh, like the words you say. Okay. Let your words reflect who you are.
Yeah.
Don't say one thing and then after you do the opposite. So I really love that thing of character development. Mm.
I will write it down because I
Mm.
think that's a beautiful expression.
So
Okay.
like I need them to police themselves that I don't need to be around for them to learn. So even if
Yeah.
I'm not around, someone who has character, he will police himself, will say the teacher is not around, but I can sit down, even if he comes in late, even if he doesn't appear, I can sit down and learn something. So that
Yeah.
is a child who has the character. So they are able
Okay.
to police themselves even without the teacher around.
Yeah.
Number two, self-discipline.
Yes. Discipline. Okay.
Mm.
I
Now, under self-discipline, I'm looking at the aspect of being able to do something that appears hard in the present situation, but will add value, or it will be a bit paramount in the future. Currently, it might be very hard, but in the future, it you'll be able to realize its importance.
yeah.
An example may be it is maybe hard now for them to wake up early in the morning to read their books, maybe at 4. It appears very hard. But in the future, it has its own cons. It has a way it will help them to shape their life, their working styles, and the rest of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
mm. Then number three, time management. Mm,
Okay.
So I love people who keep time. I love people who keep time because whenever you keep time, it means that you'll be able to do a number of tasks and there will be no need for you to panic. Also,
Yeah.
it helps
Yeah.
you in the planning phase, in the planning phase.
Do
Then,
Can I
mm,
ask a question about time management?
yes, you can ask.
Yeah. Is it, do you think that a lot of people in your country have that same value or not? Because I know that in Flanders,
Mm.
everyone in Belgium, everyone is really fixed on time, like really, really, really fixed on time. Like if you're 1 minute
Mm.
late, then it's already. But I heard that in other countries, people are not that fixed on it. So I don't know what
Mm.
your
Yeah, this
experience
side
is.
still, our end time is really not, we are not good at timekeeping.
Yeah,
Not so, but it depends on the person.
yeah, of
Much
course, of
as,
course.
So it is not something that cuts across all schools
No,
or teachers.
good.
So far, those are how
Yeah.
many?
Mhm.
How many have I given you?
You have three already. If you have
Three.
more, then it doesn't
Then
need to
number
be
four,
five, but it would be nice.
number
Yes.
four,
Yes.
hardworking,
Hmm? Excuse me?
hardworking, hardworking,
Hardworking, hardworking. Yes.
mm. Hardworking.
Yes.
Yes, hardworking is another aspect I look at. I really love people who are very, very hardworking, who put
Okay.
in their best to bring out the best from them. Then the last one is the mindset, growth mindset.
Yes.
Mm. So I do believe that once the child has those five, uh, so I try to integrate at least those five
Yeah.
to see it that they achieve their best.
Okay.
Uh,
Interesting to see. Like, I agree with most of the values. That's, I mean, I
mm.
agree with most of the values. That's not a good way to say it. I share most of the values. So that's very nice to
Okay.
see indeed.
Is it
It's
possible you share with me some of yours?
my values.
Hmm.
Yeah, have to think about the difficult question. I should have prepared. But yeah, what do I think it's important? I think
Hmm.
honesty is important.
Okay.
Like, like I, for example, like in a class, for example,
Hmm.
I would prefer that a student just tells me that, for example, they have not learned for a test or something or whatever, instead of trying to cheat and trying to do as if they are able to do it,
Hmm.
because then I can't help them because I think that they are doing well, but they cheated. So that's something I find important. Then,
Okay.
like I said, hard working. I also think that's very important. Like
Mm.
if you try your best, then yeah, I think it's not enough, of course, only trying your best, but it already brings you far ahead, I think. Like if you really try to succeed with whatever you're doing, I think that should also, that's an important thing. The drive
Okay.
to want to. Then what else I find important? Um, like individuality, I think is also important. The fact that every person, but definitely every
Mm.
student, has their own specific characteristics. And I think it's
Mm.
important to think, okay, how can I use those characteristics of a student to develop them into like uh,
Okay.
a competent adult, or how should I say it? It's like to develop them in life. So I think those
Mm.
things are important. What else? Ooh, um, yeah, I mean, what you said, the growth mindset, I think that's also very important because I feel like in Belgium, a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people just look at somebody and say, okay, you can do mathematics, you can't, you're not good at school, and I think that's a wrong idea. Everyone can grow. So, for example, what I also found interesting is, at least as far as I understood, in Uganda, there is
Mm.
one class. I mean, there's one
Mm.
kind of syllabus that you have. While in
Mm.
Belgium, it's really split up. You have schools specifically catered to like higher education, you have school for going to the workforce, and you have something in between. But as far as I understood, in
Mm.
Uganda, everyone is sitting in the same classroom, right? Is that
Mm.
correct or not?
Okay, now I think we have few schools
Huh?
that cater for that individual difference.
Okay, yeah,
And inclusivity is really not being catered for a lot. But it's something we shall pioneer in the maybe probably next year. We have started making some proposals
yeah,
because it's really a big thing that can be captured somewhere.
indeed, indeed. So yeah, I think those are my most important values. I think, yeah. Yeah, and then specifically for you, another thing I was wondering specifically about your curriculum, it's kind of related to what I just said, but is it true that everyone is following the same curriculum? Like uh, the thing that I just said, like you have schools for workforce and schools for higher education. I don't think that's a good thing because here people really look down on schools where
Mm.
people go to work later. So those are the bad students, so to say. And students who go
Mm.
to a school for higher education, they're the good students. So is it true that in Uganda there's only one kind of school at this point for everyone?
Okay, now this it's really not really. We have schools that cater for children who are interested in different career paths. We have farming schools. Children who are
Okay.
interested in agriculture. We have vocational schools. So it depends on the child's ability. Unfortunately, those who branch off into those vocational are underlooked. So the community or the environment has a way they undermine them. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why now many of them are preferring to go the other side using this direct route of 742. Mm.
Okay. Yeah, that's indeed unfortunate that they look down on it.
Mm.
Good. Okay. Another question that I had was about the the student placement. So we already talked a little bit about that. So the way
Mm.
that the students were sitting is they were sitting right, like they were facing each other, right? They were
Yes,
sitting,
yes.
yes. But what I could see it was like you used very big islands. And with that, I mean there were like 10 or 15 students sitting at the same table.
Hmm. Okay, now,
What is
uh,
that correct? Because I was not
okay,
able to count them.
okay. Now the arrangement for the tables within the class, uh, each table accommodates 2 to 4 children, a single table. Yes, but
Okay.
now, yes. But now they join the tables. The tables are joined. Yeah? It's
Yeah.
not an island. Yeah? So they're just joined and they keep facing each other. So during any discussion, you either discuss with the neighbor or the people you are facing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because what they do in Belgium is if they use islands, it's usually just 2 tables so that you really have groups of 4 people. Because if
Hmm.
you have a lot of students, then people might get intimidated or something. So, but it was so. Is there a reason why there are so many students at one table? What's the
Hmm.
philosophy behind that? That's basically a question.
Okay. How many children do you have per class?
Okay, that might also be a question. That's like I'm not teaching myself yet, but I think it's about 20 people. So it's indeed
Hmm.
it's less. So maybe that's a reason, right?
Okay. Because okay, our class can accommodate about 30 or 45.
Mm.
But currently the numbers have gone a bit high.
Mm.
So that's why we are getting the challenge.
Yeah. And then indeed you need to compactify the seats somehow for everyone to enter. Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
And the final question. Yeah, what I thought was a bit weird is during the classes you wanted us to greet the students and introduce ourselves, but we did it at the end of the class and not at the beginning. Why was that? Was that a conscious choice or?
Oh, no, no, it was my choice, but
Okay.
it would have been better at the beginning. But unfortunately, at the beginning, the speaker was not projecting the voice very well. So I
Mm,
didn't want,
okay.
so that's where the
Yeah.
problem came in.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it is indeed better to wait with it instead of wasting a lot of time in your class. Indeed. Good. I think those are the most important things so far. I don't know if you have any question for me based on what I've written, or I will wait.
Yeah.
So I don't know, based on what you've read already, if you have any
Mm.
question for me regarding the
I
observation.
just love the way you made the observation. In fact, I don't know whether you permit me. I wanted to share this with one of the schools such that they can look at the different components they need to observe whenever they go in for the lesson and the kind of feedback they need to
Yeah,
give because it is very good for self-improvement but also for self-assessment such that someone knows which
yeah,
areas we need to look out for during the observations. And I was
yeah.
happy you
So
were very, very keen, but I wanted you to throw more light. I saw Max, MSc, uh,
yes,
a year. What does it stand for?
yes. So max it means motivating, activating, coaching, and structure. So
Okay.
motivation, activation, coaching, and structure. So it's one of the models I think they developed in Antwerp, but I'm not sure about that, uh,
Hmm.
to look at didactics. So,
Hmm.
by the way, so for me, it's okay if you share this with other schools. However, I have to say that I did not make the observation for myself. So I
Hmm.
the form itself, let
Hmm.
me check real quick. It's from the, can I show it? Oh, I already filled it in. So the form itself is from the University of Antwerp, and I
Hmm.
filled in these things. So I mean, for me, it's okay if you use it, but maybe
Hmm.
you should also ask Gilbert.
Okay.
I,
Yeah,
but
okay.
like the filled in part, you can definitely use it.
Yeah, I wanted to just give the teachers at the school to show them the kind of observation, though I'll
Yeah,
limit them not to share it outside since it is just still work in progress.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So for me,
Mm.
it's okay if you share it, but I think yeah, you should ask Gilbert, or I can ask Gilbert if you want, but for me, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Though I have already given Gilbert a simple report, uh, telling her that the work is already in progress, that the team is really doing good work. Yeah, and I know one time she'll join in. Uh, Maybe I'll invite her one time such that at least she can be able. But good enough since we are doing the recording, she
Yeah,
can
she.
always be. Hmm.
Yes, indeed. Speaking about the recording, I was also wondering, I have to submit the recording of my class. So
Hmm.
the real class I will be teaching. So I was wondering whether you could share the recording with me afterwards, then I can submit it.
Yes, yes. I'm going to be sharing. I was able to download the first ones we had. So I'm going to download even this very one. I'm going to
Okay.
download them and then I'll
Yeah,
share with you. Though I wanted to first place them on YouTube. I don't know that it's okay with you.
that's definitely okay with me.
Okay, yeah. Then I can place them there and then we have the links such
Yeah,
that also I'll keep on building the community.
yeah. Sounds good.
Mm.
Okay. Then I think I know what I need to know for next time. Unless you have another question.
Not really. That's the only thing I observed that I really wanted some more clarification
Yeah.
on. But the rest were very okay. Mm.
Let
Yeah.
me check. But yeah, there I don't think I don't know if you know what this means.
Which one? Oh, VI. No, you can share. You can
Yeah,
share.
so this is a Dutch abbreviation, but it means so in Dutch it's vragenlijst interpersoonlijk leraarsgedrag. What it means basically it's a questionnaire about the behavior of teachers. So according to this model, you
Mm,
are a good teacher according to students if you are very proximate to your students and
mm,
if you have enough influence in your class. Influence meaning you decide as a teacher what happens in your class. So you still
mm,
give students freedom and you still give them choices, but you decide that they're going to work, that they will be working in groups, things like that.
mm,
And if you're both emotionally proximate and close to your students, that they feel
mm,
safe around you, and you determine what happens, then that means that you're a good teacher on classroom management basis. So not didactics, but with class ranges. So that's what the VIL means. It's a
okay.
questionnaire.
Mm.
I don't know why they did not translate it, but yes, that's what it means. Are there any other ones? Let me check. Don't think there are. No, this is the conclusion. Okay, good.
Then maybe I wanted I did somewhere where I saw where you're writing competency somewhere.
Competition, competence-based. This or
Yes. Now, those two competency and competency. One, now the one you have
yeah,
means the ability to do something well or the quality of being competent. Then
yeah,
the one with why, where you write
yeah.
why, the one that ends with why,
Like
describe
this.
the specific skills, knowledge, and behavior. Now, that
Okay,
is one that we emphasize more.
okay.
Hmm.
Good. Then maybe I will change it and I will send it to you.
Okay.
Because then it's just a spelling mistake.
Mm.
We will immediately do it.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, what I also found very interesting is in Flanders nowadays, there's also big political discussion about knowledge-based education and competency-based education. And somehow they say that the competency-based education is very bad and we should go back to knowledge-based
Oh.
education. Yeah, it's completely the other way around. So it's
Mm.
very interesting that your Ministry of Education, they say the complete opposites. So I think that's it's interesting thing.
Yeah, it has been a very big debate on the knowledge and then the competence. More though, at least we have seen, change has quite a number of phases. Some are still in that denial stage. So we have very many people who have been in the other side. So changing their mindset has really been a tough thing. But
Yeah.
I know, which one are you using in Belgium?
Um, which curriculum you mean, or?
Are you in the competency? Are you in the knowledge?
Um, it's somewhere in the middle. Like that's very typical for Belgium. It's
Hmm.
both of them at the same time, so that means it's neither of them at the same time. They like
Hmm.
you have some forces who really want to do the knowledge based, but then you have other
Hmm.
forces who want to do competency based, and at the end, it's
At the
just a
end, you
mixture of the
remain in the
two.
middle.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Because
but
I
I
don't.
think
Hmm.
yeah, politics is really pushing for the knowledge based at this moment.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Here, though, now the good thing, like the minister, the person in charge of education, the top
Yeah.
office, has a
Yes.
very big influence on
Yeah.
the model. So for her, she just dictates, even when the members of parliament come up with their decision, because earlier on they decide that let's stick to the knowledge base since the country doesn't have the resources. But she had to dictate that let's go with the competence based. However much we don't have the resources, we shall find our way and we shall sail through the storms.
Yeah.
So just went with it. But so far, at least on one side, there are some advantages. We have seen some kind of change it has really created compared to the other side. But I know in a few years, we may be taken back to the knowledge because
Hmm.
the kind of stakeholders we have are
Yeah.
exam driven. So even when they don't look at other generic skills, for them, they are focused on the assessment exams. They want to see the
Yeah.
results. So that
Yeah.
one is really driving us back.
It's basically the same what's happening here. It's also
Mm,
because there was some international test that didn't went that well, and now they're saying,
mm,
"Oh, education has failed. We have to go back to the basics, to knowledge." So that's indeed. But yeah, in Belgium it's very difficult because the ministry doesn't have that much power here. So they
mm,
dictate what the students have to know, but the translation is made by some level beneath it. So you have like five
mm.
different kinds of schools, which all have their own curriculum, and then some schools fall in the middle between them, and some decide to change the curriculum. So it's very, very strange.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm,
good.
okay.
Okay,
Mm.
then unless you want to discuss something else, then I think I will wish you a good evening.
Are you doing your PhD within the same direction of education, or you
No,
change the trajectory?
no, I did not do a PhD in education. I'm doing a PhD in pure mathematics. Only the
Oh.
mathematics, yeah. But the research thing, it's not it's not really to my liking. Like a PhD in Belgium, it means that both you do research and you do some teaching.
Mm.
And I basically
Oh.
did it for the teaching. And after my PhD is done, I
Mm.
want to keep teaching. So that's the idea. And the
Okay. And
same
how
with
long does it?
Constant. Hmm?
Okay. How long does it take?
The PhD is 4 years, and I'm in my final year now. So next year,
Okay.
I think I will start teaching.
Okay. Did you have to first do a master's or you can
Yes.
join in from bachelor's?
No. So it's a 3 years bachelor, then 2 year master, and then it's 4 year PhD.
Oh, the same
Yeah.
case this side.
What did you
Hmm.
say?
I'm
Sorry.
saying the same thing this side. You go in for
Okay.
your 3 years, then 2 years, and then you go in for the 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
but ours takes about 3 to 4, but it depends on the time frame for your research. In
Yeah.
case
Yeah.
you sometimes research can take some good time. Eh,
Definitely.
okay,
Yeah. Takes
but
a
that is
really
very
long
interesting.
time.
That is very
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
Thank you.
Mm.
No,
Okay.
but yeah, my passion lies not in research, but in teaching, in explaining to students.
Okay.
So in the university, I try to implement all the things that I learned from the teacher training, like quizzes and other stuff. I implement it
Mm.
in my classes, but the students are not used to it, so they're always very surprised, like what's happening here. It's very fun to see.
Okay. That is really perfect.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
there is application of the learned knowledge.
yeah, indeed. So yeah, I really like to apply all the things that I learn in theory immediately to that. And
Mm.
and there is no there is no quality control here for the teaching in university. So that means that
Oh,
I can try everything. I try to do
everything.
quality, but if I want to
Mm.
try something special, I can
Mm.
do it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Okay,
That's
okay. And I think according to one of the conversations I had sometime back, they were telling me that as if you are running even short of teachers, there's
yeah.
something that is happening in German.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's here people yeah, they really don't have a lot of teachers. Like sometimes it happens that students who are in like a mathematics based degree, they don't get
Mm.
mathematics for half a year. That's something that sometimes happens. So it's a
Mm.
very big problem here. Is that also
Mm.
something in Uganda where they don't have where they have a problem with finding teachers or
Now, Uganda, I feel the number of teachers we have, the number is not so big, but we have that bias mindset, that fixed mindset,
Hmm.
that teaching is not a good profession or what, something like that. But also,
Yeah,
many of them are looking at the remunerations, how much they are paid. And so, being that the payment is a bit low, so you
yeah,
find that many of them are really not encouraged to come into the profession. Much as the university may list very many teachers, more than 4,000, but those who go into the actual field to teach, you'll find about 30%. Then the rest drop out to do other businesses.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that fixed idea like that teaching is a bad job or something that also lives here kind of. I also heard a lot of people told me like, yeah, should not do
Mm.
teaching because it's beneath your standards. It's not beneath my standard. It's very nice
Mm.
profession. I mean, no,
Mm.
here the teachers don't have a lot of respect in Belgium.
Mm. I
So
feel it is German that has really done it better. Because at least they have some kind of respect they give them compared to other countries. Mm.
yeah, yeah, I heard that indeed. my supervisor for my PhD is from Germany, and she tells that there's a very big difference between Belgium and
Mm.
Germany already. So yeah, indeed.
Okay. Okay. But I know we can keep pushing. You never know where.
Maybe at some point, maybe at some point.
Yes, yes.
If the people in Germany can do it, then
Surely
then
if
we
they
can
can do
hope
it,
that yeah, then we can
we
hope.
can as well do it. We can as well do
Indeed.
it. And,
Yes.
okay. So,
Okay,
yeah.
good. And
Mm,
see you next week.
mm. Okay. I feel we are safe.
Yeah,
Mm, mm.
for now.
Okay. For now, yeah.
Yeah,
And
because next
this,
week, I mean, next week definitely escape room. We really need to see how that works in practice because I think there's still a lot of discussion that needs to be done regarding the escape room. But first, we need a
mm.
prototype.
Yes, we need to do that prototype and then we
Yes.
see how it comes out before
Yeah,
we dig
we
deep
do
into
it.
that lesson. Mm.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Very good. I've seen even you have indicated the S, the C. Okay. But that is okay.
Yes.
Mm. Okay. How is
Yeah.
AI integration on your side, that side?
Which integration or
AI, artificial
AI
intelligence.
integration? Um, yeah, they're not really rules at the moment yet. So in what happens in Belgium with AI in education is teachers are still getting taught about it. So there are a lot of courses nowadays where teachers learn about AI, but a lot of them, many of them are really scared about it.
Mm.
They think like if you use AI, then yeah, you can't do teaching anymore because students will all just cheat. So that's the current state.
Okay.
Really been since I think 2 years, since the beginning of
Mm.
last year, that it really became a big thing in the eyes of the teachers. I think the students were using it before that, but then the student teachers looked at
Mm.
that. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how it is in Uganda. Do people use a lot of AI?
Yes, though we don't have the localized one yet, but they use these free open source AIs, the chat
Yeah,
GPT, though, much as it has some advantages, but I've also noticed with time, it has some kind of effect on the reasoning and critical thinking of people.
yeah,
Because the way we are using it, we are not using it to improve ourselves, but just to solve the problems we have. So
yes.
you find someone putting the question directly the way it is, without thinking, and many times even people just extract exactly what they have found. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that's uh, a very big thing in Belgium is that every student, at least students who go to higher education afterwards, they have to make like a small research work
Mm.
at the end. And now
Mm.
people are discussing like, should we keep doing this? Because you can just put in your question in AI and copy everything you have, and then you have written a research report.
Mm.
So those are the discussions that are also living in Belgium.
Okay. Mm. Yeah. But I know with time, it is going to take us some time, but we shall get there. But as long as we use it well.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's indeed something that people have to learn.
Mm.
Because that's also what they said in the beginning about using internet. I mean, then you could also just look for everything, but it's how you use it that's important,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
that, and I think that is the kind of sensitization that we may need to take to the public.
Yeah,
Yeah, more so now with the young generation, that kind of excitement they have. Mm. Okay, I feel.
but is it something that they use? Do you use it a lot during your lessons? I mean, for the students, do you let
Which one?
students
The
play with
AI?
it? Yes. Or do you
Um,
try to keep it away from your class?
no, I use it personally, and the
Yeah,
students use it.
the
Yeah, but
students use
now
it.
how they use it is where now the biggest challenge is coming from.
Yeah,
Also now for subjects where they pose for them the scenarios, so those word problems, they just paste it the way it is, and then they extract the answer exactly the way it has been given to them,
yeah,
and they present it the way it is. And you know, when it comes to logical thinking, the code hasn't yet been cracked on how it can
yeah,
respond later. So you find that they present some solutions that are really not the best for the particular question.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I think we have not exhausted.
I think we're done unless you still want to discuss something.
Have you seen something you wanted us to discuss?
At this point, I no, I think we're at least for me, I think it's okay for now.
Okay. So it is well. So we shall meet on the sorry, not 14th,
No, the seventh.
on the 7th, still
Yes,
the same time,
yes, and then the
7,
14th we will do the class.
4 p.m. my time, and we
Yes.
shall have some students in
Okay.
the class for us to be able to test.
And do you want to, should we test everything or just the escape room? The students have
Just
time, I think.
testing, most of the testing, that online thing, to
Okay.
see how it's going to work for us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And then we can maybe also test the GeoGebra thing because that's also with a link and they have to connect, and that might also
Mm.
be good to test both GeoGebra and the escape room.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
we shall as well test that one and then see
Yeah.
how it really works.
Okay. Good.
Hmm. Okay. Then we shall have our lesson on the 14th,
Yes.
and we shall plan for 11 a.m.
Yes.
Hmm. I think those are the ones. Then also I had said I'm going to look out for some pictures and then
Okay.
we see whether they can. But also I've shown you that we can pick a few from the internet, more
Yeah.
so to contextualize the aspect of the what we have these ends.
Yes. Maybe
And
only
then,
the yes, sorry. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, only
Mm,
the Easter room I think it's good to keep because there are a lot of parabolas there, but maybe if
mm.
you can also use another one, but definitely the track one in the tunnel, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the room, by the way, I can as well change it. Let me, I will plan better to see that I have another room, maybe a bigger one. So I will plan and then I'll let you know. I will show you the structure. But also, I think I'm going to get that picture. I'm going to try. Let me know if I may get it. But I will try to see that I can get that escape picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you send it to me before the weekend, that would be optimal because I will work on it during the weekend. But
Okay. I'll try to
good.
see. Mm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Then
Uh,
thank you, and I see you next week. Have a nice
Oh,
evening.
okay. Nice evening too. Bye bye.
Bye.